Good morning, good morning, good morning everyone. Welcome to my videos, my channel, wherever you're watching me from. I am sitting out here in sunny Solanas, so you know that I'm here. And the Wi-Fi seems to be a bit better right here, so I'm just gonna set myself down on my little patio and be with you right now. Sorry for the crotch shot. But anyway, yes, hello, hello. Hello, my friends. It's such a beautiful day. You know, every day is actually a beautiful day when you make the choice that it's a beautiful day. And I know that you think maybe it's not possible, but every moment you have when you are aware and observing yourself from every point of view. Let me turn around because there is a view right behind me. I don't know if you guys see that, but no, probably not. You won't get my face. Anyway, trust me, there's a beautiful view. And the sea is right there, and I'm gonna get to that soon. Whenever there is a possibility in every moment that you could become aware. First, you gotta start, for me, this is how it worked for me. So, it's kind of fun because I recognize that I could be aware, and that I was aware. I was aware of the little subtle little things and behavior patterns that I have, and the behaviors that I did around certain people and around not other people. And some people you feel more comfortable around, some people you feel more stressed or tension, or you can feel the energy. I'm a very sensitive, highly sensitive person, if you haven't figured that out, so I really embrace that. So I'm really sensitive to energies, and sensitive, like if I work in a room with, you know, with 20 students, 30, 40, 50, 70, 90 I've even had, I can zone in on the ones that that drain energy, or that have some kind of demeanor, you know, within them. And so there's an opportunity for me there. Opportunity for me to be aware. But anyway, as a teacher, definitely as a teacher, you feel one can feel very exposed and can feel very vulnerable sometimes when you started to, and when I started to become a teacher, I think that a lot of my growth started to happen. And when I became my own boss, I also had the luxury of being able to create my respond how I wanted to respond, because I have all these different clients, and as a freelancer I can pick and choose my my jobs, and who I like to be with, how I like to work. And most of the time I don't, when I choreograph, I don't have to. I'm very fortunate because in the places that I choreograph, I don't have to follow any kind of rules. But anyway, all of this is observing myself, and under certain circumstances I would behave a certain way, and under another circumstance I would behave in another certain way. And I started to become very curious about that, observing, and shooting the rockets of desire, of having the feeling of wanting to be more free with myself, and more free and more confident in my own skin. Now, confidence is something that I can be confident by just being myself, but that is a journey, right? That is a journey for sure, because you have been subjected to a lot in your life, and manipulated, and conditioned, and all that kind of thing that I speak about a lot in my videos. But I asked the question today: what is freedom, and how far does freedom go? Like and what does it mean? You know, since we are in a society, and there are social contracts and societal rules that have been created for us, and some of them are very, very important to follow. I think in the sense, or you know, to be what is the word? I'm lost for words this morning. But like, say for instance, some social public social things that we follow that are really really good for everyone. So, you know, first come, first serve. Say when we stand in a line, for instance, we don't break the line because we, you know, and people do, some people do that. But I don't think for myself as a rule to stand in line, that is a rule for sure, that is for the better of humanity, like first come, first serve kind of thing. You know, now if there was someone late, you know, we late for a plane or something like that. Say if you had to stand in line for, you know, in customs at the airport or something like that. And I have been let go first because of my plane or because of delay or something like that. You understand what I mean? So those kind of things are valuable. But I asked the question about freedom, and when some behaviors, we have been controlled so much by societal rules and social rules that we have to follow them, and that we become very uncomfortable sometimes about being ourselves. Now, you know, say for instance, like say for instance, you're in a restaurant and you are causing noise. Say Americans have a reputation of being very loud in Europe, so they're just very loud and they enjoy themselves. Now for me, I don't mind if a table is enjoying themselves, and because I've certainly been part of the people like that have been quite loud. But we're supposed to be not rude and intrusive, you know, like we don't turn on our we don't like engage and scream and everything like that and behave like children. That is all, I guess, your prerogative, but you might be thrown out of the restaurant. So you don't want to really invade on someone else's space in that sense, that we live kind of in, like, you know, like in harmony. Now, this is a question you can ask yourself, a very simple question. But, you know, say for instance, like, you know, okay, like I have on my videos, you can see me dancing on locations. Now, there's a vulnerability that I have had to face because it was many layers of that, and because I mean, I have the right to dance anywhere I want to dance. I'm, you know, in some countries it's against the law, it's illegal, it's a sin to dance, you know, it's illegal to dance, period, you know. So I celebrate my freedom in that way of being able to do that. Now internally in myself, I can be confronted with, you know, people will see me dancing, and I improvise, so it's kind of artistic, you know, in a way. And so I haven't done a video in a long while, but that doesn't matter at the moment. But I've probably done like 10 or something like on famous locations, and I had to face a vulnerability to do that because there are a lot of people around me, and some, like I did one in Sweden, and so there's a lot of people passing me and a lot of people on their daily life, and you know, it's kind of rare. Maybe in New York you would see more that often, and asking for money, and I'm not asking for money, I'm not asking for anything. I'm just want to celebrate my freedom and feel the freedom just to, it's not about, you know, feel the freedom to do that. So that's my right to do that, to dance through my life. But a lot of people really, like the reactions I got, some people stop and some people look, some people don't even look at all, and that's their prerogative, you know. So it's interesting, and in fact, when I face that vulnerability, I gain more freedom, you know. So it's a question of what rules do we think we need to follow to fulfill our desires to, you know, like, why do we not? As kids, we run around and we learn to adopt, you know, certain behaviors to be able to fit into the population, and to fit into, you know, and in every country it's different, in every place. And you know, the expression, there's a place for everything. There's a time and place for everything. Well, I think that's really interesting because I start to question that, you know, like I start to question that. You know, they're really subtle, like they're really subtle. I don't know if any of this is making any sense, but it just makes me think about fears and irrational fears. And so you know, like, okay, so like you can have a company meeting. You know, I used to be this person. You can have a company meeting, and a company meeting, there can be, you know, like all the company is there, and that you have a meeting and we are discussing things, and we talk about things we have to, I don't know, conditions, or, you know, or things we have to do, or like tourings and stuff we want to agree on doing, or kind of thing. And you feel inferior about speaking. Now that's a big thing about speaking out loud and speaking, because you feel like maybe what you're saying is stupid, or you're feeling on this kind of thing. that's not really in public, but that's the company business, so there's certain kind of fears. And why would we feel so like that what we would ask would be stupid, or you know, or that we feel shy, or we feel exposed, or you know, you don't want to bring that attention to you. And I think a lot of it is not bringing attention to yourself, because we've also learned that that is selfish, or we've learned that that is, you know, egoistic, or that you have a attention-seeking behavior. I think that for me, confronting myself about an attention-seeking behavior, I'm a performer, so you know, and I am embracing more. I love that I do like to shine my light, and I like to be seen. I have a bit of an exhibitionist side of me because it's the performer in me. I don't know, that's natural for me, and it feels good. It feels good to share, more or less. Feel good to share. It's not in the sense it used to be as a performer. Look at me, I'm so great. And I think that is there, and that I changed the way I think about that, because it's not about the attention. The ego likes the attention for sure, but it's not about that. It's more vulnerable for me to be able to take my freedom back, to take my freedom of expression. And expression comes in many forms, not just in, you know, not just in speaking, or speaking in front of a you know, freedom comes in many forms. How we dress, how we talk, our sexuality. It's all of this stuff is like, you know, like what is accepted in society and what is not. All these kind of things are controlling. I think it's gotten so far that we're so confused about, you know, what is right or wrong, and all of this is right, this is wrong. You know, in society, we're supposed, once we were children and teenagers and adults, young adults, and then we grow into, you know, citizens of our, you know, and upstanding citizens. And what is upstanding citizen? What does that mean? Can I still, you know, people are very interested in your private lives, or intrusive into your private lives, and all of these kind of things. Now that is not a level within public, but although, say, like, for instance, I'm a gay man, so if I want to walk down the street holding my man's hand and holding his hand, I have a right to do that. Especially in Holland, I mean, you know, it's a progressive country and liberal, and especially Amsterdam. Of course, there's conservative. Amsterdam is not really Holland. It's, you know, metropole, and it's yeah, international. There's a lot of nationalities there, and a lot of different kinds of people. And anyway, so, you know, walking down, I have a right to do that. I have a right to wear whatever I want to wear. If I wanted to wear a dress, say, for instance, but that's not a social norm. Or with my tattoos, that's not a social norm. All of this kind of thing has cause some kind of contraction or some kind of reservation in yourself, you know, to hide, more or less hide. I don't know, there are thousands and thousands of these little subtle things that really can control you, and what is accepted and what is not accepted, you know. It's very interesting to experience filming yourself, like on a selfie, or nowadays, you know, taking a selfie or a self video of yourself with a stick, a selfie stick. You know, I've mentioned that before, but it's very interesting. When I started to vlog and started to do that, it's exhausting mentally, because I have been conditioned to think that this is about your ego, and people are thinking, what are you doing this for? And you're doing this because you want attention. Oh, I'm so tired of all that. And also, like, you know, like what is accepted and what is not accepted. I think that when you're a creative person, as an artist, you put yourself out there and you expose yourself. And I feel like that's the same as my project as a person myself. And that's when I realized that this ego is a really, like, you know, a needy thing, this ego thing. And I can't get rid of it, and I won't be able to get rid of it, because there's one time that I want to get rid of it. If this makes any sense to you, because all of this is ego-based, you know, and what you experience in yourself in public or in society or outside of your confined walls you behave differently because there are rules and conduct rules, and you're not supposed to be like this. But as a creative person, when you put yourself out there and you can take risks, but you're exposed, and people are going to like, people are not going to like, and all of that can cause you suffering until you're aware of it. And even conduct can cause you suffering because you're inhibited, because you can't be yourself, because you feel judged. What is freedom? How far can we go? If we express our emotions, I know this for sure is my sharing, so I assume, and I think that, you know, we are taught what is freedom. So we negotiate our freedom, you know, that expressing yourself in your weak side, your weaknesses, which, well, let me say that I believe, like, where did I learn that sharing my love or my expression, my emotions are what a sign of weakness? That's a cultural, societal thing where this conduct, certain conducts are encouraged and certain are not. You're supposed to be strong and independent and all this stuff. And I believe that that's a facade, and that's some of the charade you have to keep up with. It is all about that, all that kind of stuff, and it's just, I got really tired of it, and I started to live from my point of view, and I start to unpeel the onion, and I like that metaphor because there's much more and more and more, and I realized that there's nothing. So I'm going to leave this conversation with you by saying there is nothing that is there. It is all illusion, and it's made up in our heads if we just stop and look at it and realize that we're creating these mental constructs and how we relate, and going through straight through the only way is through it. The only way is through it for us to develop ourselves, is to get used to the vulnerability, to be ourselves, you know, with all due respect to others. So I wouldn't in myself, I wouldn't turn on my music on my mobile phone when I'm sitting in a restaurant and having it blaring really loud because I want to do that. I don't know. For me, I think it would be kind of, I guess, kind of cool for someone to do that, but I know that predominantly it is intrusive. So I think that we want to respect intruding on people, but being ourselves and being how we want to, you know, some behaviors. So you please some, but you can't please the other. So at the end of the day, you have to please yourself, and with all respect, I think, I don't know, I just like that rule of respect and having respect, and live and let live. And, you know, and if I don't like the music blaring or any kind of, that can be a metaphor, then I can walk away. If I don't like something, I walk away. If I have a possibility, I walk away, you know. If someone goes running down around the airport just screaming just because they want freedom, we live in a world where there's threat, so that can be, assumptions are had, and we're assuming, and we assume a lot. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I think this is really quite long, and it's going to take a long time. So my videos are very long. So when you see this, it'll probably be next week. I don't know, or hopefully overnight it can do. Anyway, I'm going to get to my day. I love you so much, and thank you for listening and watching. And have a beautiful, carefree day. And reinvent yourself. It's so beautiful. And let go of the need of approval. I just love that. Man, I don't need to impress you. I will never impress you. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to impress myself by letting go and feeling free. And it's all beautiful and loving and wonderful. And I want a better world for us all. So it starts with me. I love you so much. Be free, be creative, explore, and let go of the need, and just be yourself. It's the best thing you can do for the world, is be yourself. I love you. Thank you.